I think that we would all be fine if they were actually going after gang members, violent criminals, rapists, murderers, child molesters, whatever. That's not what they're doing at all. That is not what they're doing. Thank you for joining the Jimmy Dore Show. I am, in fact, Misty Winston, your guest host for today. Thank you for the kind comments. We had a little rough start to the show. I was a little frantic there for a second, but we're fine. Everything's fine, guys. We're going to work it out. Okay, so we're going to jump into our next story here, which is insane. This whole thing is insane. All of these ICE arrests and Border Patrol and all of this stuff, but this one in particular. So the Border Patrol arrested 2 firefighters for being in the country illegally as they battled Washington's biggest fire. So this is from CNN. Border Patrol agents arrested 2 firefighters, why can't I say that word today? Wednesday, who they say were in the United States illegally while they were working to contain Washington state's biggest wildfire. The Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Service had requested support from a local Border Patrol station as the agencies terminated work contracts with 2 firms on the Olympic Peninsula, according to a news release from U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Without offering details, the agency said the contracts were ended following the conclusion of a criminal investigation by the Bureau of Land Management. The Bear Gulch fire on the peninsula has already torched almost 9,000 acres in the Olympic National Forest. The Bureau of Land Management requested that Border Patrol verify the identities of all the personnel present, quote, due to the remote location of the work site, end quote, the release states. Quote, several discrepancies were identified and 2 individuals were found to be present in the United States illegally, one with a previous order of removal, end quote, the Department of Homeland Security said in a statement. CBP and the 2 people were said the 2 people were arrested. I wish said the 2 people were arrested and taken to Bellingham Station near the Canadian border. Officials handling the Bear Gulch fire in Northwest Washington said in a short statement Thursday that they, quote, are aware of a Border Patrol operation there. The Border Patrol operation is not interfering with firefighting activity, and Bear Gulch firefighters continue to make progress on the fire. The statement continued. Washington Rep. Emily Randall's office confirmed the arrest in an email to CNN. The Border Patrol operation comes as President Donald Trump has cracked down on immigration across the country. In the first 7 months of his second term, Immigration and Customs Enforcement has deported nearly 200,000 people, CNN previously reported, putting the federal agency on track for its highest rate of removals in at least a decade, but still short of the administration's stated deportation target of 1 million deportations a year. Quote, this cooperative effort highlights the coordination between federal agencies in ensuring the integration of government operations and maintaining public trust in fiduciary matters, end quote. U.S. Border Patrol Blaine Sector Chief Patrol Agent Rosario P. Vasquez, that is the longest title ever, said in a statement, quote, U.S. Border Patrol steadfastly enforces the laws of the United States and unapologetically addresses violations of immigration law wherever they are encountered, end quote. The human caused fire on Washington's Olympic Peninsula has been burning since July 6th and was just 13% contained as of Thursday. A red flag warning will remain in effect until 9 p.m. local time Thursday, and thunderstorms and gusty winds could worsen firefighting conditions. Firefighters are battling the flames following intense heat waves in western Washington that had spiked temperatures as much as 20 degrees above normal and stretched for days at least twice in August. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson said he is, quote unquote, deeply concerned about the arrests. Quote, I have asked my team to reach out to federal agencies for more information to determine where these 2 individuals are and to question why the Trump administration's cruel immigration policies now extend to individuals fighting forest fires, end quote, Ferguson said in a statement to CNN. Washington Senator Patty Murray demanded answers from the federal government about the circumstances of the incident in a statement Thursday. Quote, Trump has undercut our wild land firefighting abilities in more ways than one, from decimating the Forest Service and pushing out thousands of critical support staff to now apparently detaining firefighters on the job, she said in a statement. This administration's immigration policy is fundamentally sick. Trump has wrongfully detained everyone from lawful green card holders to American citizens. No one should assume this was necessary or appropriate, end quote. Under the Biden administration, the Department of Homeland Security said it would not conduct immigration enforcement, quote, at locations where disaster and emergency response and relief is being provided, end quote, such as evacuation routes or areas where emergency supplies are being distributed. Under Donald Trump's first presidential administration, as wildfires ripped through Northern California and burned over 300,000 acres in 2018, DHS said it would, quote, suspend routine immigration enforcement operations in the areas affected by the fires, end quote, except if a serious criminal presented a public safety threat. The agency also said it wouldn't conduct any operations at evacuation sites or assistance centers. It is unclear if that stance has changed under Trump's second administration. I thought that this cartoon from Andy Zyglis, sorry, my guy, if I butchered that, but this was from April, and he retweeted it today, so I included it here with Trump with his ice dousing the flames there. And then this is from the Commissioner of Public Lands, Dave Up the Grove. I'm aware of criminal enforcement action taken against a federal subcontractor at the Bear Gulch fire, and also understand that 2 employees of this company were subsequently detained by federal immigration officials. And then he included a quote, the Trump's administration's crude and inhumane approach to immigration enforcement has intentionally and unnecessarily stoked fear and mistrust among members of the public, including firefighters putting their lives on the line to protect our state. So this is wild behavior. Again, this is the crumbs of crumbs that he's flicking to his supporters. This is kind of the raw meat that he's throwing to them because they love this stuff, right? The whole illegal aliens are your enemy thing has been very successful with them. That whole narrative is very successful with MAGA supporters. So not surprising that they love this stuff, but it is insane to me. It's not like they are actually going after criminals, which I think we would all be fine with. I don't want violent gang members on the streets of the United States from another country. I don't think any of us do, right? I think that we would all be fine if they were actually going after gang members, violent criminals, rapists, murderers, child molesters, whatever. That's not what they're doing at all. That is not what they're doing. And in fact, they're going after mothers. We've seen mothers violently arrested while holding their children. I just watched a video earlier today. I almost included it, but I ran out of time. This was very last minute, so I was trying to scramble to get all of it put together. But there was another video of a woman who her child is sitting there screaming for her not to be taken away, and she's being taken away. This child is now traumatized for life. We've seen numerous of those cases where it's a mother, or it's, again, green card holders, or actual US citizens, or people who are going to their immigration hearings, following the rules, doing the right thing, going to the courts to follow the process and all of that stuff. That's who they're going after. And they're doing it because they want to be able to say to their base, look, we've deported all of these people. They said 1 million in a year, which was an absurd number on every level. But you can't deport that number of people in a proper way. It's just not possible. And now we have a situation where they're allowing judges who have no immigration law background to preside over these cases. And the whole thing is just a mess. And it is really just a political ploy. It's just red meat for MAGA. They love this stuff. They eat it up. And so now we are essentially kidnapping firefighters who are here in this country. And if they're here illegally, that's fine. We can have that conversation. But they're like if you are a firefighter out there battling a massive blaze, the largest wildfire in Washington, you're on like the bottom of my list of people to be concerned about, And I feel like they are just going after low-hanging fruit, easy people to go and get because they want to be able to throw those big numbers at their base and be like, look, aren't you impressed? This is who look at all these people that we deported, despite the fact that these are good, decent, hardworking people who may be here illegally. But that's a whole other conversation that we, can have. But it is, again, arresting firefighters while fighting a blaze is a new level of low, I think. So there you have it. ICE, or the Border Patrol, is now arresting firefighters while they're fighting a blaze.
Come see me on tour in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.